Where are we going? North.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons.
Therapeutic benefit in role-playing games. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, baby. Your presence requested in exchange for treasures.
Are we talking one treasure each?
Count that.
Welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons. We are in the middle of Cosmic Clowns from Dernkel 6. The clowns just defended their home base from the dreaded Dreaddusa, who last we left was actively destroying Ringleader, their AI. And when they called out to him previously, there was no response. And the scene opens with Scooter Snootz unconscious. We almost forgot that while he was doing his great move, Snootastic appeared in bubble letters and, not making any sense. It just appeared there and then vanished. Stinko Savage pied the unconscious Dreaddusa, and that is the scene we have before us.
Well, I suppose with this one under wraps, which there was three other.
So Dairon is on the planet with the bipedal zebra people who are peaceful, and he was going to steal their magic stone that powers the entire planet, or he was going to extort them, blackmail them into joining the Bowman Empire, which is like the ultimate goal, is just to constantly assimilate. And the other was the Senator had kidnapped the queen of a planet and imprisoned her in one of his legendary labyrinths. So without Ringleader at the moment, you can't check the active updates of what's going on, because he can infiltrate technology across the universe to spy on things.
We have the means to fix him.
But yeah, you could have Jerry just stay behind to try to repair all of the computer stuff to fix Ringleader.
I think it's a great idea, Jerry. Do it.
Yeah, so you call Jerry into the room and you see him with his trunk, just start pulling up stuff and connecting things randomly. You know that this is going to take a while. You're just not going to have Ringleader for the rest of this episode. But by choosing to come here, you do assume that there's been progression with the other two.
So, I guess it really just... I like the zebra.
Yeah, I was going to say Stinko's going to vote for the zebra people. If they're peaceful, they probably don't have a means to defend themselves.
Yeah, so let's go after Dairon.
If the queen was kidnapped, usually kidnappers want ransom, so she's probably at least hopefully safe-ish.
So I say let's head there.
So you're heading over to save the Zebrin. So what you know of Dairon is he is, or was, the greatest warrior on his own planet, a philosopher, teacher, and archer. After battling the overwhelming forces of Mobius, he realized his people would be safer if he could broker a deal. After speaking with Caesar directly, he shared his vision for the universe, and Dairon was moved by the cause. He's now second in command, wanting to unite all under their banner of civilization. So you know him to be an honorable villain, and he's a teacher of the henchmen. So he commands the greatest army of Caesar's. You also know that he's very dangerous as a celestial archer, and he actually will shoot down spacecrafts with his bow. So that's what you know of Dairon. So you go flying towards the planet Savern, and you land somewhere where you're flying into the atmosphere, and you can see that the Bowman forces are completely overwhelming the Zebran people, and they're just fleeing and they're just continuing to march forward with their spears blasting and taking people out. And you don't see Dairon at this scene at the moment.
How big is our ship?
So this ship is small.
Okay.
It's just to get you to different places. Your home base is your big ship.
Do we know where Dairon would likely be?
Without Ringleader, you don't know his like exact coordinates or anything. You do think that you want to be searching for this like stone that powers the planet, and the Zebran do have like a little castle that's like made out of trees and miscellaneous natural occurring things.
Stinko would say, let's rescue these zebra right here, and we can just verify once we do that where the power source is, and that's most likely where Dairon's going to be.
Can we beam them aboard?
So you want to like start like beaming Zebran people up to the ship?
Well, how many of them were like running away? Was it like a mob of people, or was it like, like 10?
Yeah, it's like a whole village.
Okay. All right, then never mind. We don't have enough room then.
I mean, you might still think that's a good idea.
Wait a minute.
Get swished.
No, let's do it. We have plenty of room. We could put them in the briefcase.
So I mishear Zebran, and I just go, snack cakes, why didn't you say so? And then, I open it up and start handing out a particular snack cake that I'm not going to say just because of branding issues and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, you think it's a good idea because, you all can just kind of fit in any type of space. But the Zebran people don't quite work that way. So, you start beaming them up and they start getting squished. And then they're like, and you just hear them, starting to, suffocate from, such tight quarters.
I have room in my gut, too, if anyone wants to dive right in.
That's what I was thinking. Use telekinesis to compact them, and then Binky can swallow them all.
So yeah, you just start feeding all of the Zebran to Binky, who's just mouth open
And he's just growing in size.
Yeah. Just say Binky, even though the space in his gut is infinite, he's still just for comedy's sake has a stomach that's expanding as he eats them.
As I'm eating, I'm doing that that bouncy thing that cartoons always do. It's like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So you save this whole village without any sort of combat by beaming them up to your ship, using telekinesis to compact them, and then feed all of them to Binky. And yes. Binky is just kind of going along for the ride. He has no idea what's going on. He's just being fed. And so the Voman soldiers who were marching on this village are all just kind of looking around and then they look up at the ship and just start shooting their spear lasers at the ship itself.
Launch the banana peel bombs!
So
somebody!
So Binky then opens a suitcase and pulls out banana peel bombs.
Excellent. And I'll load them into the torpedo launcher. And I'm gonna basically, with using the ship's launchers, banana peel I quote battlefield or whatever, wherever they're marching, to trip them, hopefully trip them all up.
Yeah. So you cause a domino effect where you just have you shoot a few banana peels and then the Voman soldiers all with their heavy space armor just start bumping into each other, and then the camera zooms out so that you see the domino effect go all the way back to the edge of where they started, and they all just topple over.
Awesome.
Yeah, you see the castle, and you're that's probably the next stop.
Is there maybe a spot on the roof we could land?
There isn't a good spot, but you don't really care.
Okay, so we're gonna land on the roof, even if we have to land on a really stupid pitch or something like that. We'll land there. I'll take some silly putty out of my pocket, and I'll use the silly putty to adhere the ship to the roof if we had to. Yeah, we land, and then I get out, and I'm gonna just punch right through the top of the roof into whatever room is below us.
Okay, so yeah, so you go and you punch, and you make this small hole, and you peek through, and you can see that there is this massive chamber that's protecting this large crystal. You see that Dairon is in here, and he has defeated several Zebran. None of them are armed or anything. And you see the king of the zebras, or I should say king. You see some government official who's representative of the peaceful zebras, who just has extra clothing, and he's standing there, and he's basically trying to decide if they just submit for the safety of the rest of them, or if they all die resisting. And so that's what you hear ongoing as you keep.
I'm going to take my arm and use my because my body's silly putty, essentially stretch Armstrong it and reach through the hole and try to grab the crystal and bring it back up.
Roll your silly putty body check.
So that's a 7 on the die plus 10 would be a 17. Wow, I couldn't do 10 plus 7.
Okay, so you roll a 17. So it's a matter of you're easily able to do so. Dairon is going to make a roll against it using his anti-aircraft bow and supporting with eagle eyes. So that's how he notices because of his sharp eyes, and he's going to try to counter you taking it using his bow. So it's going to be +8 from the bow, and where it's a human tier eagle eyes, that'll be an additional +1. So he's going to use oomph, and that's going to be 17. What did you roll?
17.
Ooh, tie goes to the hero. So you roll in, and Dairon quickly is like, oh no, and he whips out his like super bow and he shoots it. He is like locked on perfectly to you, and you just pull up the crystal, and if you had been a half second later, it would have pinned your arm to the ceiling. So you pull the crystal out, and now you're on the roof with the crystal.
Hey guys, look what I got!
I eat it.
Stinko doesn't say anything, just like wraps his mouth around Scooter's hand and just
there is no hand. Like you
Yeah,
come back
I
and there's just no hand.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to try
bites on
that.
his hand.
Can I have some?
I hold up my arm.
You just bite his other hand off.
Yeah, I'm
and
just
go.
gonna bite his other hand. Ah.
So now, because again, my body's like silly putty, you just see you see fingers, but they're coming out of like the arm stubs, and that's how I'll spend the rest of the episode. Just fingers coming out of my arm stubs.
Okay. Joy, do you have any thing to add to this?
No. Yeah. I just like always look disgusted whenever they thwart themselves.
So you probably like have the most situational awareness, like constantly breaking the fourth wall and whatnot. So you know that like while you're lingering, and how that bow shot missed by like centimeters, that Dairon is probably going to pursue you within seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll wait for him to fire stuff at me.
You see one like giant energy arrow come erupting up through the hole. As soon as it gets through the hole, it then scatters into a bunch of smaller energy arrows that shoot in every direction.
Yeah, so I want to use my electrokinesis to gather all of the energy pieces back together and then send it back down the hole.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see. So that is electrokinesis 5, and my roll is an 8, so that's a 13 total.
So you gather all of the energy back up. You don't quite have like total control over it. So like on the way, you zap the other clowns, and then it gathers, and you shoot it kind of wildly back through the hole. Like it went through the hole. You weren't like necessarily aiming at anything. So then below, you hear multiple voices cry out.
Do I recognize the voices?
You definitely recognize Dairon's voice, and then there's just like other voices.
I ask Binky to go check it out.
Alright, so I'm gonna go investigate.
So you're gonna like smash the hole bigger to like go below.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so yeah, you smash another hole. You drop down into the scene. You see that all of these Zebran people who are inside here were electrocuted, and are currently just like on the ground unconscious. And you see Dairon has been injured, and he turns to look at you. I don't know why you continually attempt to stop us. Our cause is just. These people must be led by the Empire.
I go, nah, and then I just throw a pie at his face.
So you pied Dairon, and like he's like trying to give you this like grandiose epic speech, and like the necessity of unifying like all peoples in the galaxy, and then you just pie him in the face with making some noises, and yeah, so it doesn't injure him; it injures his ego. So we'll say that that's how he takes a setback token because of his ego being injured. Like he's this like honorable villain that you just have not taken seriously whatsoever. So he's been electrocuted. He's taken this setback to his person, and so he's basically like on the edge of defeat at this point. So with this much larger hole that Binky's created, you can all just see below like what just happened. You heard him giving the speech, and Binky respond with, "Yeah." So you see Dairon is just like, he doesn't even remove the pie because he's just like so like, oh my god. So it's just kind of like dripping off of his face, and you know that like you can very easily defeat him.
So can I go? Can I help you with that? And then like stick out my tongue and lick the pie off his face.
Your tongue just becomes like massive for like a split second, and you just like drench him in saliva.
Yep, that's exactly what I was picturing.
So you just like completely eat the pie in like one go after that, and he's just still like blinking like.
He's like, you know what? I'm done. I should have gone to insurance, just like my parents said. That's it.
Yeah, and he doesn't know like you guys took the Power Stone, and he knows that like he can't defeat you. So he's just like, and his like Centaur power armor, like the legs, he starts like jetting up from the hooves, and the legs all like bend straight back, and he just jets out of the capsule and retreats. It's just like, I guess we'll have to take over some other planet. And one of like the Zebran like starts to like wake up and sees that Dairon is leaving, and he looks around and thank you, clown. You have saved us from Dairon.
You're welcome. And then I handle like a fake hand, you know, like those fake hands that clowns have and stuff like that. So I start shaking it with that.
Yeah, the fake hand. Yeah. And he like takes it and like slips out, and he's just like.
And then I go over with an apologetic look, and I put out my hands.
He takes your hand,
and it has one of the electrical buzzers on it, and he gets electrocuted.
So he gets re-electrocuted, and at this point, like his hair is just like completely frayed, and he just falls over again. So and then you probably like. I'm not sure if you forget that you have the power crystal that powers their whole planet inside your stomach, and you guys just leave.
Well, it'll come to me in a couple of days that it's there. I'm not sure what'll remind me, but I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah. So then you guys are like, all right, we'll just go face the Centaur now. You take off with the power crystal and Stinko and an entire village of zebra people inside of Binky, and you guys just take off to go and battle the Centaur or conquer his labyrinth.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons.